So one of the things that I think is really important for us as spiritual students to understand is that abundance isn't just about the material, physical stuff that we bring into our lives. It's really about an emotional state. It's about an openness to receive, but also a readiness to share all the good that we are here to experience in life. So I think of abundance as sort of a three-pronged experience. First is just to recognize that we do live in a world that's just absolutely teeming with abundance. From waves in the ocean to grains of sand on the beach to grass that covers the ground, there is so much good in our world. And we can recognize that. It really helps us to feel a little more settled in our own ability to then take that in, because we've recognized it all around us. The next thing that's so important when it comes to abundance is allowing ourselves to receive. And I think that can be really challenging, especially when we've had past experiences that have limited us, or we've made poor choices that we feel have somehow constricted us. It's difficult to believe that we're worthy to accept good, but it's so important in experiencing abundance in our life, just recognizing that we are worthy to receive, not because of any qualifications or any kind of spiritual attainment, but simply because we're here and we're a part of love. So recognizing that it's there and then receiving it is important. And then I think the third thing that's really important with being abundant, spiritually, emotionally, and in every way in our lives, is the willingness to share that inspiration that we receive when we recognize abundance, to share some of the good feelings that we have, just to be so clear that there's more than enough for everyone, that we're willing to share our good with all those around us. And sharing doesn't have to be a monetary expression. Sharing can be a smile, it can be an encouraging word, it can be anything that comes from our heart. But when we share from our hearts, we bring a more abundance into the world. So I think abundance is for everyone, and it's not just about what we have or what we get, it's about how we're able to live. So we recognize it, we receive it, and then we send it out with love. That's what true abundance really is. When it comes to a daily practice of recognizing abundance, or maybe even experiencing and inviting a little more abundance into our lives, I think there's a couple of things that are important. First is just to see it all around you. That doesn't mean that you're accepting it, you just recognize, I see that there's a lot of good in the world. So after we're able to see it, it's important to savor it. So throughout the day, just savor, oh my gosh, there's so much sunshine today. Or wow, there's just so much good news that's finally coming to light. Anything we can do to savor or to celebrate the abundance that we see really invites that into the world. And then the next thing I think is important on a daily practice perspective is in some way to write that down, to give that a voice, to express it in some form or fashion. When we can write these things down, when we can make mention of gratitude or write a note of appreciation to the universe, it opens our heart to receiving more. Very simple, very easy to do, but see it, celebrate it, and then write it down. Easy daily practice that will really anchor that experience of abundance in our lives each and day in a very simple way, because we are here to receive good. We're passing now, or we've moved through the 1-year anniversary of the pandemic, and there's so many things that we've all learned. But one thing that I've really been inspired throughout this whole year is that there is an abundance of creativity in this world. There are so many resources that we can access that before we were blind to because we were just going through the motions that we'd always gone through. So this experience of living through and navigating this pandemic has really inspired each of us to think a little bit more creatively, but to willingly receive a little more abundantly. And that truly has lifted everyone in small ways and in large. But we have so much more to learn and so much more to share, which will again just uplift us all in this experience of receiving and recognizing and celebrating abundance in our world.